very good morning. My name is Mallika and you're with Outlook Traveler. Post the pandemic, Indians have taken to traveling with a vengeance, not just locally but globally. Destinations around the world are on our radar today. A very big aspect of international travel pertains to dealing with finances, and there are products today that make global travel easy. To discuss the prospects of international travel and payments, we have with us Mr. Virendra Vish, CEO and co-founder of Niyo Solutions, a leading fintech firm in India. Mr. Vish is a seasoned technology professional with 16 years of experience in creating world class software products. He has diverse experience in senior technology executive roles in startups and global organizations like MobiQuick, Make My Trip, StudyPlaces.com, Exponential Inc., G Medical Systems, and Tata Consultancy Services before he co founded Neo Solutions, a fintech startup that looks to disrupt the consumer banking experience at a global level with innovative and market first solutions. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Malika. Thank you for having me on a bright Saturday morning. Good morning to all of you.
Sir, I would like to start off with considering post the pandemic travel has changed a lot. To start off with, how and why did you think that there was a need for a fintech firm like Neo Solutions and specifically Neo Global Card?
Yeah, so Niyo Global Card actually finds its root way back in 2016-17 when Vinay and I were, contemplating several ideas, and this was one of the, I would say ideas that one of the customers actually gave us. Look, all of us have traveled at some point in time, particularly abroad travel, and we know how much, payments actually is a hassle, and in day and age, and particularly, all of us in India, we are experienced to frictionless payments in domestically, whether it's a UPI QR code, whether it's a debit card, credit card payments. But when you are in a foreign land, there is so much of anxiety, so much of fear as to whether the payment will go through or not, whether what amount I will be charged, and so on and so forth. So Vinay and I started this company with this idea, that we want to make payments, banking frictionless, transparent, easier, simpler, smoother for Indians wherever they go. Now it turns out that there are some stories, and one of the stories goes back to one of the clients actually who used our card incidentally while traveling abroad, and he came back with a very, I would say he was kind enough to let us know that he had a wonderful experience on the card. And at that time, we were not promoting this feature of the product. We were basically focusing domestic market, and that kind of sparked a few ideas. And we thought, if there could be customers like him, why can't we actually start doing this more? And we started doing some experiments with the students who were actually going abroad on exchange programs, and we test trialed this product with them, made some changes to the product, and the product just was working beautifully, and customers really lapping it up, and and we thought then now is the time to seriously go and build this product out. And this is, of course, all of this is pre-pandemic, and the product was going great. But then, of course, pandemic hit. All outbound travel, particularly all varieties like students, tourists, even business travel, everything came to a halt. And we took a severe, I would say, like many of the businesses, we had, particularly on this product, there was basically gloom and doom. But then when the travel really opened up until like the beginning of this year itself, we were like overwhelmed, surprised at the the pace at which the Indians were traveling abroad, and it took everyone by surprise. And nowadays, if you look how people are not able to get visa appointment, there is a backlog of 3 months, 4 months, and so on and so forth. And we were just like, surprised, and we are very fortunate in that sense to actually have a working product in this segment. Product has been continues to get, great reviews from customers, and so on and so forth. So yeah, there's a little bit of, I would say, customer insight, but a lot of luck, in play, and that is why, Neo Global is here today.
Yes, sir. And considering a lot of people of my generation also travel a lot these days, I would like to understand from you, sir, what is it about Neo Global Card that you feel would cater to people from my generation, millennials, young travelers who today are not just exploring India, but looking at destinations maybe in Southeast Asia or maybe Europe on a backpacking trip? How does this card cater to them?
Yeah, I will of course answer that question, but let me take away one key that not only people of your generation, people of my generation,
Your generation also, correct,
not that
correct.
people that we
My parents as well.
not that we are from different generation.
Absolutely,
I would like to
absolutely,
take you to 2000 years ago. People have been traveling,
absolutely.
human nature to travel. And we have all read in our, 7th, 8th grade history books, the travelers who went abroad, and so, travel isn't actually, isn't the human spirit. To explore, to see the world isn't actually basic human spirit. And so it's very natural that a lot of us actually find, the desire to travel, to go and see other people, different parts of this beautiful, earth, and see, experience civilization, experience local cuisine, immerse ourselves in local experiences. So it's hardly any surprising. Now, what is happening is that over the years now, Indians now, the growing middle class, the affordability has been growing, and so people are able to spend that much amount. They were able to plan to exotic locations. 10, 15 years ago, it used to be the usual circuits, the US, Canada, Europe, and maybe a little bit of Southeast Asia. But now you have people talking, going to Latin Americans, the Eastern Europe side of it. People actually planning Northern Lights. People trying, just the other day there was an advertisement about actually explorer trip to Antarctica, the seventh continent. So I think as our disposable incomes are increasing in this country, people are finding ways and looking for avenues to go out and travel.
Absolutely, sir. And let's talk about competition a little, and let's talk about comparative analysis. How is Niyo Global different from other cards, and how is it better in any way than a Forex card, which people have been using for many years now?
Yeah, so we have the fundamental way in which when we design the product, we said, okay, look, when you take this payment product, you open a bank account with us, and your bank account actually will hassle-free travel with you wherever you travel. So for you, it should not be a very different thought payment experience when you are paying in your neighborhood versus paying for a coffee in Singapore, or paying for any expense, let's say in Europe somewhere, or in Far East, or in South America. So for us, we that was very core to our the founding principles, or the way when we designed the product. And we looked at roadblocks. Why does it happen? Right. So what happens is that in our heads we tend to compartmentalize. This is the amount of money I'm going to spend domestically, and when I'm traveling, you actually earmark a certain quota, and you buy currency notes, or you buy a traveler's check, or you buy some other instruments. Forex cards now. You buy all of these, so you plan ahead. So and then of course you use those products, and we said, why this cannot change? And of course this can change. You could actually use your credit card. You could use your international debit card also. The problem is that when you use your credit cards, international debit cards, there are various elements of security involved. Plus also there are charges involved, and which actually can be quite a dampener. So what we created is a product which basically takes the best of both the worlds. There are practically no overage charges. So you pay for the current exchange rate at this point in time. Your money always pays in Indian rupees. You could actually look in your app, open that, you have 50,000 rupees, and that 50,000 rupees could be converted at that point in time in whatever the current exchange rate. In Europe, if you're in Singapore, it will convert to Singapore dollars. More than 150 currencies are supported. You could freely do that. And if you run out of funds during your travel, you could add more money. And when you travel back home, you come back to country and you want to utilize the funds, or you transfer the funds out. So it's easy. So there's no lock-in, no extra steps that you need to do. And that is why the product is such a simple thing. It's when I come and describe this product to anyone, say, okay, how come anyone not think about it? This is such plain and simple, and that is actually that is the truth. What we have done is basically try to give the overall experience slightly more better, from what it is there. But if you compare against a credit card, a debit card, or a Forex card, there is less planning on this product. yeah, there is more transparency in this product. The product, of course, is more value saver for you. If you actually spend 1 lakh rupees on your foreign traveler, I guarantee you that you will save 5,000 rupees on this product easily if you use Niyo Global versus anything else. And we have had customers basically writing to us who actually have done credit card spends on Niyo card and so on and so forth, and said, okay, we when you told us that this product is the cheapest one, we took that with a pinch of salt. We verified your claims, and yes, that is indeed true.
When you talk about saving money, so I think that would make more sense to students who are traveling abroad to study. I think from their perspective, looking at finances becomes even more important in today's date. So, does this card also enable them to manage their finances in a better way, as opposed to maybe having other cards while traveling or spending on debit or credit, which of course raises a lot of interest rate problems, I understand.
Yeah. So clearly, when you are using Niyo Global product, even as a student, you are practically running on shoestring budget. And every time you have to, particularly if you're an undergrad student, you have to ask family back home, and the family is already, doing so much. So you yourself feel slightly guilty to ask for more money. So I can totally understand that. And that is where I think the planning features in the Niyo Global app are there. We show you a crisp understanding of where the money is actually being spent, how much money you have been spending on a weekly basis, monthly basis, how much funds you likely to need. So you can keep track of your spends. You can share those spends with your nearest and near and dear ones. If you actually need money at that time, family back home can easily transfer funds, right, and so on and so forth. So there, and of course, for students also, the ATM withdrawal, if you actually need to withdraw from ATM, the charges are next to nothing. Many forex cards and debit card international, they actually have 1,000 rupee plus charges if you do a ATM withdrawal. Here the charges are next to nothing. And then finally, as I said, the hero product is that anytime you spend in the euros, dollar, or anything, you get the best of the exchange rates. And as I was explaining earlier, if you end up spending, let's say, even 50,000 rupees per month, you're going to save 2,000 to 3,000 rupees on Niyo Global.
Right, sir. I would just like to get down to the brass tacks for our viewers who might not have a knowledge about Niyo Global Card. How does one apply for it, and how many countries does this work in? Where all can you carry a Niyo Global Card and just be at ease?
Yeah. So you could travel to any part of this globe. Wherever you find a visa signage, the product will work. Whether that is an ATM, there is the shop, the cafe, or the coffee shop. Wherever you see a visa signage and visa accepted here, you actually can use the product freely without any hitch. So there is no problem. We have had customers, traveling now to Far East, countries that I didn't hear of. Botswana, and Rwanda, and of course South Africa as well, and the LATAM as well. Far East, people have been spending the card from all the way from Scotland to New Zealand, from Far East in Japan to Colombia. People have been spending the card. So there is no country, that we have not seen the card actually getting used at. So that is one. Wherever you see visa signage, you could use the product. Now, how does one apply? All you have to do is basically you have to be in India when you're traveling and you're planning to travel. Just head out to Play Store or App Store, look for Niyo Global, search for Niyo Global. When you search that, you will see a Niyo Global app. You download that app. You need to actually have 3 things with you while applying for this product. You need to have your PAN card, you need to have your Aadhaar card, and you need to have your passport. It's a simple 2-minute online digital journey, and you could, complete your online KYC. Once the KYC is done, then you will actually end up opening a bank account with our partner bank, and you will receive your debit card in 3 to 4 days. And then you can load your funds on the, when I say load your funds, you could use UPI to load funds. You could NEFT, you could IMPS, money into this account. And you will see the money instantly reflected into your account. If you have a debit card with you by that time, you could go about spending money from debit card. UPI also works in this card. So if you are in the country, you can use the card through the UPI also. And you could transfer out the funds also if you feel like I would like to, transfer some rupees from this account to other account domestically. Domestic transfer is also allowed. It's pretty much works like any other standard bank account, except that, the superpower of this product comes through when you are abroad and, you are really saving money every time you use the product.
Right, sir. Where do you see Niyo Solutions heading in the future, sir? What's the immediate plan for Niyo Global in particular?
Yeah, so I think Niyo Global right now is I would say we have find a very sweet spot in student segment. In general, travel segment, we would like to also expand to the business segment and really, along with our partner banks, really, go deeper into this category of for travel abroad and try to solve that problem. And we are just getting started here, and I think in the next 2 to 3 years, you will likely to see us actually just continuing on that segment, creating more products for them. We have, after talking to our customers, we understand that payments is not the only problem. There are other things that customers, travelers, when they're traveling abroad, they bother about: safety, security, passport getting lost, how do you buy insurances, and then if you are in a distant country, you would like to research about what experiences you can do in that country, and etc. Et so there is a lot about travel and banking. So you will likely to see us, Niyo Global, coming up with innovative products which are at the intersection of travel and banking.
As a travel writer, sir, nothing makes me happier than to see travel and hospitality sector bounce back with full force post the pandemic. Is there any travel trend that excites you for the future that you believe could really change the way Indians travel in the future?
Yeah. So what is happening is that, Indians as a traveling class are evolving. Our traveling tastes are evolving. And those are evolving into 3, I'd say distinct dimensions. One is that people are exploring, countries that, probably that no one has heard of. So that is one trend, right? It is beyond those usual, the Switzerland trips and so on and so forth, whatever we used to see in, Yash films. So we are beyond that, right? So that is one. And then what is happening is that even during those travel, what we find is that tourists, they are actually really going for deeper experiences. People are willing to spend much more time, immerse themselves in the local cuisine, local culture, just really studying. And so, what we are also seeing is that, the duration of the stay is increasing from, not like, 2 weeks to 3 weeks, 4 weeks, right? And in 2 weeks, people used to, travel to 3 countries, 10 cities and be done with it, right? Now we are spending, now we are actually seeing, people when they are traveling abroad, they would like to stay in a city, 2 cities, 3 cities, really spend some time in the city, experience that culture. So I think that is where I think as a traveling class, our tastes are, evolving.
Absolutely, sir. And I believe your product in particular, I think, would make things easier for a lot of Indians who are going abroad. And I believe for a lot of other people generally, because the payment landscape in India has been convoluted. It's harder to, many a time, exchange currency abroad or carry too much cash. And I think those kind of very basic problems are being addressed through Niyo Global Card in specific. And I really wish you all the luck in the future for all your other ventures. And I hope to see more interesting travel products from you and your company, Niyo Solutions, in the future. And thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Is there anything that anything that you'd like to add to this conversation?
No, thank you for having us. Thank you for the interesting questions, and thank you for hearing me out. I wish you also all the very best.
Our pleasure, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.